Good evening. This video is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast in celebration of their brand new card set of Magic the Gathering, which is the Guilds of Ravnica, which comes out today. If you are watching this video on October 5th, 2018, that would be today. Today is the release. Now listen, I have done so much research on this character and the story just to be able to bring her to life for you. I don't want to just paint myself as the characters, I want to be the characters. So in this tutorial, I will be showing you how to become the beautiful, the elegant, the powerful Vraska, the leader of the Golgari Guild. Beautiful character design, like so beautiful that I accepted this look as a challenge. Like you could just see in her eyes, just the beauty and the power, and I just love her. And because she is such a beautiful character design, I'm expecting this to have many parts to it, but I accept that challenge. I accept it. And of course, I want to say thank you to Wizards of the Coast for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it, and so does my entire community. And if you're not familiar with the character, hopefully you're introduced to something really cool. If you enjoy this video, please take a brief moment of your time to kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks. To create the tails for our headpiece, you're going to need to braid some wire like this. By wrapping the two pieces of wire together, you're giving the clay something to grip onto as opposed to it just sliding off of the wire. You can think of this like armature wire, which it pretty much is. You're just going to take your piece of wire, fold it in half, a little bit longer than what you would actually have your length, since you're going to be twisting it and that will lose length on this side. Smush them together, really smush them together, and twist it around. Now what I also like to do is cut the end off of here and then fold this back up going this way and spiral this around. This way you don't have a spiky edge on either side. Make enough of these until you have the amount of snakes that you need to fit your head. I'm then going to take a big old ball of air dry clay, make sure that it's lightweight air dry clay, and I'm going to roll it out flat. You're then going to kind of cut the general shape of what you're going to want. You can then stick your wire into the center of the clay. Make sure you have a little bit hanging off the top because you're going to squish it towards the front anyways. And just start to fold your clay in towards the center. You can then start to roll your tail going down the line. This is also locking your wire into the clay. And as you can see, as we continue to roll it down, the bottom part of the wire is covered. And if you have any areas that you feel need to be reinforced, you can take a smaller piece of clay and just wrap it around that section like a band-aid. Here's one tail for now. Now you just need to make the rest of these bad boys. A small sheet of fabric with a thick snakeskin print on it. You can then just press the pattern into your clay. It's going to get a little bit messed up when you put it onto your head form anyways, but just so you get the general idea. Now if you don't have a head form, that's okay. You could also put it on anything that's kind of round, or you can lay them flat on the counter to dry. Just make sure that you have the bottom facing the counter or else it's going to be flat. You're then going to take your snakes and lay them on top of your head. Using a little bit of water, you're just going to want to smooth them down into the head. When you lay down the next one, it can kind of touch the previous one, but they can't touch too much or else you will get it to where they will stick to each other. This is kind of what you're gonna be looking like right off the bat once you have all of them on your head. You can then carefully twist all of the snakes in the position that you are wanting them. Some areas may need to be patched as you're moving things around, but if so, just add some more clay and smooth it out. And then lightly spray the entire thing with some water and re-stamp your snake pattern into it. I'd gone away for a week, and before I left, I did not seal my sculpture, leading it to crack. Because this happened, I ended up creating a second sculpture, which I did on stream. I pretty much did it the same way, other than instead of making the snakes individually, I made it as one solid piece and made the separate pieces separate. Both techniques will work perfectly fine, so it's more so just a matter of how you feel like you want to go about sculpting it. Paints that I'm going to be using acrylic paints, first mixing together black and a more bronzy type color for the base. It is very important that you make sure that this layer is dry before moving on to the next layer. Totally dry. Once this is completely dry, I'm then going to go in with a metallic, more olivey green and a little bit of a bronze and just very lightly go over the whole thing. Some spots I'll be lightly going over with a little more green than others, and then also adding more of a bronze color striped throughout all the tails. Alright, temporarily we're going to look a little wild because we don't have the rest of the tendrils on yet, but you're just going to have to trust me with this one. We need the headpiece on now. I'm then going to take a brush I do not care about, a little bit of Pros-Aide, and just add some makeup adhesive right underneath the edges of this. Using some makeup modeling wax, I'm then going to blend the edges down onto my face and also create some of the creases that she has, connecting her tendrils to her face. When using the makeup modeling wax, make sure you have enough Vaseline on your fingertips or else you're not going to be able to blend it onto your face because everything is just going to stick to your fingers. Once you've smoothed out your edges, you can then blend it more into your face. With a very little bit of Vaseline on the same pattern that we used earlier, and then just going to stamp it into the wax areas before I seal them using a flexible wax sealer. You can then seal your wax using said wax sealer. Start on the beauty makeup portion, I'm first going to apply pale foundation and then a very light cream body paint over that. Get some nice fierce eyes going, because, I mean, you know. I'm first going to prime my eyes and then I'm going to add a nice dark smoky black eye. I don't like how this looks. I'm gonna take the wax off. We're just gonna do it in body paint. Direction changed, but not defeated. Using olive green body paint, I'm then going to blend this down a little bit more into my face. The closer we get to the tendrils, I'm also going to add some darker green and darker green. Using dark green eyeshadow, I'm then going to fill in my eyebrows as well as create the 3D illusion within my forehead. Now, just like up here where she has a pattern that kind of pops out, she also has a pattern on her cheeks that sinks in. So I'm first going to take a little bit of brown eyeshadow and outline those cuts. Using a little bit of a darker brown eyeshadow and then going to go in and just outline around the edges. I'm then going to fill the centers using lime green body paints and outline the inside using a darker green to make it appear as if it's sunken in. To further sink them in, I'm then going to take a little bit of black eyeshadow and just lightly outline the bottom. Using white body paint, I'm then going to add some highlights. I'm then going to add some lip color, and we'll be leaving this as this for right now. You know what? No, I'm also going to add some bronzer around my cheeks as well. Then we're going to move on to the body. Onto the body. Her outfit is super cool, by the way. I'm first going to give myself a general outline using an eyebrow marker and open up all of the holes. That way, it'll be easier to go and fill them in later. I'm then going to fill in each hole with the same skin tone that we laid down earlier using a light cream body paint. Now before I lay down all the green or all the cream on the rest of my body, I'm first going to shade all of the holes. And I'm going to do this first using brown eyeshadow towards the top, then gray, and then black. It's gonna look really dark right now, but once you have all the green on, it's gonna make more sense. Using olive green body paint, I'm then going to paint everything else in green. I'm then going to go around each hole and add black. As you can see, not really that dark. So now that I have all the holes filled in, I'm going to go back in using black eyeshadow just to darken all of them up. Using a lighter green, I'm then going to go in and highlight. I'm also just going to add these smaller black holes throughout it. Tiny, little highlights, small. To finish up the rest of her outfit, I'm just going to add the edge to this and add my skin color on my arms. I'm then just going to add the shoulder piece onto my shoulder that we made earlier using a little bit of Prosade, pop my contacts in, put fake eyelashes on, and put the rest of the headpiece together. Sounds like a lot more than it actually is.